Xenosystems Fragments. Independence. Nickland. Narrated by Skeptical Waves. The philosophical antonym to universality is particularity. Its broader, ideological antonym is something closer to independence. This isn't a word greatly emphasized by NRX up to this point, or, for that matter, one figuring prominently in contemporary discussions of any kind. That's strange, because it orchestrates an extraordinary set of conceptual connections. Independence is a rough synonym for sovereignty, to begin with. The profound association between these terms bears quite extreme analytical pressure. The sovereign is that instance capable of independent decision. An independent state is indistinguishable from a sovereign one, and to impugn its real sovereignty is to question its effective independence. Secession is a process of independence. A Moldbugian patchwork is a network of independent geopolitical entities. All relevant trends to geopolitical fragmentation are independence-oriented. Each executed exit option, even on a shopping expedition, is an implicit declaration of independence, at least in miniature. The relations between independence and connectivity are subtle and complex. Remaining, for a moment, in the narrowest NRX channel, the entire pacifism discussion is independence-related. Protest, activism, is disdained on account of its fundamental dependency upon sympathetic political toleration. No social process genuinely directed towards independence would fall within the scope of this criticism. The Benedict option is one obvious example: build something epitomizes independence process. Cannot the entire range of contentions over the individualism-collectivism dyad be recast in terms of independence? Dependency exists on a spectrum, but the defining attitude towards it tends to polarization. Is dependence to be embraced, or configured as a problem to be worked against? This blog is highly tempted to project the left-right or principal political dimension along the axis these distinct responses define. The left is enthused by interdependency, and, to a greater or lesser extent, accepts comparative independence, while for the right this attitudinal system is exactly reversed. The most fundamental tensions within the reactosphere are clearly related to this articulation. One inevitable point of contention, honed over decades of objection to libertarianism, is captured by the question: are not children essentially dependents? Yes, of course they are, but is growing up anything other than a process of independence? From one perspective, a family can be interpreted as a model of interdependence, without obvious inaccuracy. Yet, from another, a family is an independence production unit, both in its comparative autonomy in respect to the wider society, and as a child-rearing matrix. Families are loci of independent struggle, to which the left response is, they shouldn't have to be. Dependency culture is the left heartland. Independence and autonomy are very closely related terms. All discussions of autonomy, and even of automation, click quite neatly onto this template, but this is a point exceeding the ambitions of the present post. Abstraction, too, is a topic that tantalizingly overlaps independence. Whether cognitive independence entirely accommodates intelligence optimization is also a question for another occasion. NRX, XS tentatively proposes, is a political philosophy oriented to the promotion of independence. Much pushback is, naturally, expected.